I'd like to now invite you to look at the newest kitchen appliance. This will be on everyone's countertop here within the next 10 to 20 years. So as you know, this is the water that changed my life. And what it does is it makes water with 3 different properties. The first property we're going to talk about is antioxidants. The second thing we're going to talk about is the importance of having an alkaline body. And the third thing is how it's going to hydrate us. Now on top of that, this unit not only makes drinking water, it makes 7 different types of water, and we're going to explore those as well. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is antioxidants. So what have you been told about antioxidants? You've probably been told about blueberries and strawberries and raspberries and fruits and vegetables and the vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin A. Those are antioxidants. Their job is to neutralize something called toxins or free radicals. So where do these little free radicals come from? They come from things like cell phones, microwaves, TVs, radios, computers, the air, the food. They're everywhere. These little free radicals come into the body and they create oxidation and aging. So simply put, if you can just visualize for me an apple. Now you take that apple, cut it open, and allow it to sit out. Over the course of a couple hours, what are you going to notice happens? That apple is going to get brown. That is oxidation caused by free radicals. That's what's happening in our body and creates inflammation. So those things in our environment, those toxins, are coming into our body, creating oxidation, which leads to inflammation, which is linked to nearly every single disease process. So this unit has antioxidants that it creates, which is known as the fountain of youth. So if you want to have a young body, the older that you get, this is a sure way to help your body from the process of oxidation. So we're going to get into these different liquids because I truly believe that we have 3 options. We're left with bottled water, which you're going to see here is very oxidizing to our system, and that bottle doesn't typically get recycled. It goes into our landfills, which then goes into the ocean, and now in our ocean, there is the size of Texas, the island of plastic, that is 3 feet deep, and the fish are now eating the plastic. It is becoming part of the food chain. And then we eat the fish. So that's the bottled water, which is an industry that is $18 billion. The first thing we're going to look at here in Dasani is the first ingredient. Dasani water actually has ingredients. The first one is magnesium sulfate, which causes you to become thirsty. The second one is potassium chloride, which also causes you to become thirsty. Wow, that's a smart marketing technique, isn't it? So we're going to test this liquid for oxidation. Now we're going to look at the Aquafina. Aquafina is another reverse osmosis water. And reverse osmosis water is just water that's depleted of everything. It's stripped of all electrolytes, which are calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. Water is a solvent and scavenger. When you put that water in the plastic, it's going to start to leach those contaminants out of that plastic, and then we are then consuming that plastic. What that plastic is, it's known as a carcinogen. It causes cancer. And it's also known as xenoestrogen, which is a female growth hormone that causes cancer cells in the body to multiply and divide at a faster rate. Then we have our Gatorade. This is a sports drink. I know I used to drink a lot of it. I was afraid of the sugar of those, so I would drink the diet, not realizing that diet is most likely worse than regular because of those artificial sweeteners that go into it. Frankenfood is what I call it. It's not real food, it's made up food by different companies that manufacture these foods. That goes into our body, goes over 97 degrees. Those chemicals turn to formaldehyde and go right to your brain. One of my good friends, Bob Wright, he's the founder of the American Anti-Cancer Institute. And he talks about the artificial sweeteners and how toxic they are to your health. He also has a chapter here on this water. He says, Step 3 of cancer diet, restructured ionized water could save your life. Wouldn't you agree that if your body is 75% water, you want to put the best water in it? I know I do. Then we have our soda pop, which we know that high fructose corn syrup here is genetically modified. And the year it came out was the year that diabetes levels started skyrocketing. And we have Kangen water here. Kangen means return to origin. So where you find it is at the bottom of a waterfall. It is the most natural water for your body. Nowhere on earth will you find reverse osmosis, distilled or deionized water. Whereas Kangen, you will find it in nature and your body loves it. So Kangen just means return to origin, which brings your tap water back to its natural state. We have an ORP meter here, which this will show us the aging rate. So this little meter is designed for fish tanks, because if you put it in a fish tank and it gets too high, the fish can't breathe, they go hypoxic and they pass away. So we want it to be negative. That means it's an antioxidant and it's neutralizing the toxins in our environment. So here's the first one here, Dasani water, and we're reading at a positive number, 256. So 0 is neutral. Anything positive creates oxidation and inflammation. Inflammation just means itis, like bursitis, tendinitis, colitis, arthritis. That is an itis. It's positively charged there that creates inflammation. Negative is an antioxidant, anti-inflammatory to the body. Next one here, Aquafina, 300 here and 15 positive. And the Gatorade, we used to think was healthy for us. It's worse than the water. It's almost a 400 positive. And the soda pop, 397. So if we wanted to accelerate the aging process, this one will actually get us there the fastest and creates lots of inflammation in the body, especially because there's a lot of sugar. And then we have the Kangen water. And if you can see the meter there, it went to a negative 644. You could not even eat enough fruits and vegetables in a whole day in order to get one glass of this very beneficial antioxidant. Now that's the first property. The second property to this water is the alkalinity. I'm sure you've heard of the acid-alkaline balance of the body, and your body thrives best in an alkaline environment. Well, stress, alcohol, artificial sweeteners, and tobacco are the fastest ways to pull your body into an acidic oxidized state. Our blood must maintain alkalinity. And if our blood becomes too acidic, guess what happens to us? We die. And so our body will protect us from that. Our body will rob your electrolyte stores. That is calcium, magnesium, potassium, and sodium. It's found in your bones, your tissues, your ligaments, your joints, and your cartilage. Your body, once it becomes stressed or too acidic, it will start to leach those minerals out of your body to add it to the blood to maintain the blood pH. So you're going to see here in a second how this water is going to help to balance that. So the pH chart goes from 0 to 14. 7 is neutral. Anything below 7 is acidic, and anything above 7 is alkaline. So as you can see, these are called phenol red drops. These are pH drops. So we want it to be purple. We don't want it to be orange. So as you can see here, Dasani water is very acidic. And that's where our cells are being bathed in. Here. And again, our body is 75% water. Most likely your body is going to be acidic. Gatorade, soda pop, Kangen water. Very alkaline to the body. Helps to balance the body. Now we have a little bit of Kangen water here. We're just going to add it. And we can see how it's going to neutralize. But what happened here? And what happened here? These things are so acidic. It requires 3 gallons of this water just to neutralize the one Gatorade or the one soda pop that you consumed. So just take a look here. We can take this Gatorade, that's diluted Gatorade, and add it to this healthy environment, and it completely ruins it. And then you wonder why you don't feel good. Your body is constantly in that state of acidosis, which depletes those electrolytes. Electro means energy. And then your body is being robbed and depleted every day you're drinking this other forms of water. Now, the last property of this water is how it's being absorbed. When you're drinking a large amount of water, you're going to notice, especially if you're an athlete, and you chug a whole glass of water, and then you go jogging. you're gonna find that water is just making you feel uncomfortably bloated. The reason for that is that bottled water and that tap water is not in the correct structure that your body can absorb it, your cells can absorb it. So what it does is it sits outside of our cells, not intercellular fluid, it's not hydrating you. So it's not crossing that phospholipid bilayer into the cell to really hydrate, and it's not able to flush, so you're not cleansing, you're not detoxifying. Whereas this water will hydrate you about 80% better than the tap water will. So to show you that, we're gonna make tea. To make tea, we normally boil the water. When you boil that water, it turns into steam. It gets so small it evaporates, gets into the tea bag, and gets the nutrients right out. So we all know that we cannot make tea with cold water. So here's our tea bag. And here's our bottled water. So this is our cells trying to absorb tap water or bottled water. That's standard. Now here is the same tea bag with different water. And as you can see the difference there, it goes right into that tea and can get the nutrients out. Those of you that take supplements, you want the body to absorb it. Water is what transports, helps our body absorb the nutrients that you're consuming. So that's the hydration factor. So not only does this water device make the best quality of drinking water for you, your friends, and your pets, it makes other types of water as well. The next water here is called 2.5 strong acidic water. That water is used for disinfective uses, such as your countertops, your toilets, your sinks, your mirrors, anywhere you want to sanitize. One of my good friends, who is a biological medicine doctor and scientist, developed these different protocol books. She has one for your body, one for your home, and one for your kitchen. So Dr. Parker talks about the different uses. So for instance, if you had acne, which types of water to use to help your body balance the state of acne? Cuts, scrapes, wounds, herpes, diaper rash, eczema, antiperspirant, shingles, rosacea, hair care, baldness, dandruff, eye health, pink eye, earaches, sinus infections and allergies, brushing your teeth. My dentist has a machine. He's owned it for over 7 years. Acid reflux. So many people struggle from that. Food poisoning, hydrocolon therapy, yeast infections, dialysis patients, nail funguses, babies and children, baby formula, and then pets and animals. So as you can see, this is not only for your health, but it's for all these different uses in your home as well. So you can get rid of those toxic chemicals like bleach, laundry soap, carpet cleaner, window wash, because we make a water that's a third stronger than bleach, but it's not toxic. So those children of yours that are running around getting into the cupboards and they accidentally drink that 2.5 water, don't worry, you're not going to the hospital. It's not toxic. The next water we're going to talk about is called 11.5. The 11.5 water fresh is an anti-inflammatory. So if you are struggling from inflammation of your joints and you want to soak it in this water, it will help your body release that inflammation. That same water can break down oil bonds. As you know, our food is loaded with contaminants. There's herbicides, pesticides, and fungicides coated with oil. And we're taking it home and we're washing it in our tap water. We know that tap water cannot break down oils. And I'm going to show you that right here. So we have our oil here. Here's our oil. And we're going to take the tap water or the bottled water and try to break it down. You're going to notice that it floats. So this one here is the water that breaks down the oil, the 11.5. And it will completely break down oil bonds. This becomes my laundry soap, my carpet cleaner, and my window wash, as well as the water that pulls the contaminants off our food. So these are tomatoes, bought right from the store. And we're going to wash this one over here with our normal water. Our water that does not break down those pesticides, which are more toxicity going into the body. This one is our 11.5. And you usually want to let that sit just a little bit. because that will even break it down more. Why we're letting that sit? We're going to get the tap water out because tap water contains chemicals like chlorine. So our tap water, because it has that chlorine, that is a carcinogen, which means it causes cancer. And in this book here, I highly recommend that you get it. In this book, it talks to you about cancer rates of people who drink tap water. Bob Wright says 93% more likely to get cancer drinking tap water. So what we have here is chlorine indicating drops. And we're just going to add a couple right here. If it turns yellow, that means there's chlorine. And as you see, it's got chlorine. It's mandated to have chlorine, your tap water. Our skin is our largest organ, and it absorbs toxins and chemicals like chlorine. So when you're showering, all the chlorine is going right into your skin, into your liver, and your body has to deal with all that toxicity. So here's my hand going into the same water I just put those drops in, and my skin is going to absorb that chlorine gas. And as you see here, a couple of drops. Where did that chlorine go? Into my hand, into my skin, into my body. So our company also makes a shower device that goes in and pulls out all those contaminants. And now we're going to get back to the chlorinated, or to the tomatoes here. So here, we'll do this one first for you. So here is those cherry tomatoes. And as you see, it looks pretty clean, doesn't it? Here is the tomatoes after we wash all the chemicals off. Isn't that incredible what we can get off of our food? Now the flavor is denser and it's crisper and it lasts longer and it's healthier for our body. And then we have a beauty water for the skin and the hair, which helps to tighten and tone. It's a light conditioner as well. There's one other water called clean water. It's just filtered water, and that you can take with medication if you'd like. So as you can see, this unit will be on everyone's countertop, and I'm just so honored I was able to share it with you today. So until I see you, be happy, be healthy, and be free.